Today I want to focus on the top 5 sales trends that I think you should be focused on in 2025 and beyond. So let's dive in. Number 1 is AI-driven sales enablement. Now, AI, or artificial intelligence, is one of those things that a lot of people are still grasping to understand. I'm still learning on a day-to-day basis, and we use it for selling and marketing and all kinds of things, and web development. We use AI for a lot of things. It's very easy to get it wrong. There's tons of programs out there and tons of ways of doing it wrong, but there's also a lot of ways of doing it right. In selling, AI can help generate lead lists and analyze those lists. It can scrub them based on a number of different factors. It can organize them and it can get them ready for your use in prospecting. AI is also great for predictive analytics and complex data analysis, and it can really help with reporting and forecasting as well. Another way that AI can be used is communication. So let's think chatbots on a website or messenger bots on social media, any of those, right? AI is not looked at the same as it was just a few years ago when people were implementing it in a way that was kind of clunky and almost trying to be deceptive to the user so they wouldn't know it was AI. You don't have to do that anymore. Most people know that AI exists and are using it in some way, shape, or form. In the sales world, a chatbot or a messenger bot can help somebody almost instantly get the information they need and be routed down certain funnels. AI can integrate with your workflows, your CRMs, and it can do that on autopilot so that it's moving people where they need to go and then notifying you accordingly. Another way that I'm using AI on almost a daily basis is in meeting notes. There's lots of programs out there. Fireflies is one that I have experience with. You can integrate that with Zoom or Google Meet and it can take notes automatically. At the end of that meeting, it'll sum it up. It'll provide you a full summary of it, next steps, meeting notes. It's very, very beneficial because that allows you to pay attention and be present in meetings. AI is also great for your productivity on a day-to-day basis. It can help scrub emails. It can help set calendars up, and it can prioritize your workflow based on factors that you have set or algorithms which it's been trained on. It's actually pretty cool to wake up and say, this is what I need to get done. Now, I also do this on a daily planner where I'm writing things out, but AI can complement that and give me a really targeted, focused list that I have to get done every day for both companies I have. One thing to note is that many popular platforms already have AI built into them. Think Microsoft Copilot or Gemini. They're already there waiting for you to use. There's design tools and a lot of software out there that has an AI component that can help optimize your workflow. So make sure that you're diving in and starting to use those and experiment with them so you get more comfortable. I do need to caution you a little bit on AI though. While it's great, it's something that needs work. It needs practice and it's continuing to evolve. Let me give you an example. AI is great for content creation and a lot of people use it as a starting point. It can give you bulleted lists or some topics to write on, but I would never ask it to write something completely and then have me use it. One time I tried to create a content piece for a large healthcare system, and it was just kind of a starting point, and I knew that, but I wanted to see what AI could do. Now this blog post looked pretty good. The topic was centered around what technology healthcare systems are using and how they're doing it. It spit out a lot of great statistics, and when I went to prompt AI to tell me, hey, cite your sources, tell me where you got these statistics and this information, it came back and it let me know, hey, these are hypotheticals. We just made these up. That was pretty mind-blowing to me and where a lot of people can use AI wrong. It's still a big area for misinformation and you need to be careful. So don't rely on it 100%. Use it in small increments and stages and build up to your trust in AI. When done right, AI can start to learn more about what you want and what you're looking for, and it'll get easier and easier to implement it into your sales process. Number 2, hyper-personalization at scale. Sales reps and companies need to be taking the time to really personalize that experience. As you'll see me and hear me talk about so many times, my user buying experience is all about hyper-personalization. When done right, you can have thousands of prospects or customers going through workflows at different points and different times. And each one of those customers or prospects will feel like they are the only one you're talking to. And it's so cool. When in reality, you're talking to hundreds and thousands of people, but you've personalized it and you're leading them down their own pathways. The sales process is not a one-size-fits-all model. And I teach a lot of situational selling. It's all backed by hyper-personalization techniques. Because you have to remember, let's take something like an objection. You might hear that objection 20 times, and you might actually have to have 20 different pathways or response approaches to that same objection. That's where hyper-personalization comes into play. Conducting the right research and recon prior to engaging with a customer or a prospect is the way to really lay the foundation for personalization. If you know a lot before you go into it, you can craft that experience a bit better right out of the gate and not waste any time of yours or theirs. Using data, and think about AI too, it can help you here. Using data to understand what's working and what's not is a way to continue to personalize an experience. Knowing what to track and how to track it is very important. When you're trying to personalize an experience or someone's journey, without data, you really don't know what you're doing. You're really shooting blind. Data can come in all sorts and factors, right? It can be from where they are in a process, tags. It can be if they've opened emails or answered communication. All of that data can be analyzed in a way that allows you to create the best experience. Number 3, and I've kind of mentioned this a little bit with the chatbots and messenger bots, but that is self-directed buyers. Today, buyers have more information at their fingertips than ever before. It is easy for them to do a lot of their own research. That research has probably already pushed them in a direction or a decision on what product or service or solution that they need. Taking the time to learn where your buyers are shopping or looking or researching this product or service is going to be really, really important for you and your company to stay ahead. Creating content, being involved on those platforms or those places is going to be really, really important. If they're already shopping there, or they're already researching at these particular areas or these platforms, have a voice on those. You want to also make sure that you're not placing friction points in that buying process. For example, on your website, buyers want to click a pricing tab and they want to see pricing. They don't want to have a prompt that tells them they need to call you in order to get that or fill out a form. That's adding a friction point, and they're likely just to move on to the next business or the product or solution because there's probably lots of them. Creating easier ways for people to take their own steps, it's going to be really, really important. It might sound a little counterintuitive right now, but trust me, when done right, you're going to know when to get involved and when to back off. Letting people see pricing or get an instant demo or get resources really quickly, it's going to lead to a happier buyer and just a better user experience all around. It's also going to not waste your time or theirs, and it's going to help qualify them further so that when you or your team get involved or when the automation starts to kick in, we know we have the data behind it, so you're going to know where to put that time and that focus. Number 4, sales process automation. This is huge and it's a lot of what we do. I have built funnels with my teams for over 15 years, and I've seen what automation does for sales reps or teams. If you're following my selling method and you know more about what I believe in the methodologies that I use, you're going to know that by now you should already have customer personas and a buying journey, a customer journey already mapped out. From there, you then need to build and put in place systems that help you automate that 24/7 on autopilot and do it in an intuitive way that's correct. You can automate so many things: text messages, voicemails, emails, sending resources. It can all be automated 24/7 so that even while you're sleeping, systems are nurturing and giving information to prospects. It can be done in a pretty seamless way, and if done right, they won't know the difference if it's you or a system doing it. Based on what they do or do not do, they could go down a different path. That's why, and that's how you can have thousands of people going through a sales funnel, and they can all be at different places at different times. It's actually really fun to watch it take shape and watch people start to get routed down the funnel. One critical piece in automation, though, is to not get lazy. It's very easy to try to put everything on autopilot and do it in the wrong way while you're basically treating everyone the same. That's not what you want to do. That's where a lot of the recon and the research comes into play first, and making sure that you have an idea of what these sales funnels need to look like. While I am huge on automation and have built it for so long, I know when to automate and when not to automate. And based on so many factors, what you sell, what industry you're in, the price point, so many things, there are ways you can automate and there are things you should automate, but then there's other parts of it that you shouldn't. But automation can still help. So for example, if it's time for you to get involved, instead of sending an automated message or text or call to a prospect, it can notify you it's time for you to manually reach out to that prospect. Once that happens, you can mark it as complete and put the outcome of that reach out attempt. From there, either automation takes over again or you continue to be manually involved in the process. You just need to be smart about it and you need to really think through. And there's a lot to consider when putting real automation in place for a sales cycle. If you have any questions, just reach out, drop me a message, drop me an email. I guarantee you I can show you ways you can automate your process and be more efficient in a sales cycle. Number 5, stop trying to sell and start developing relationships. Now, this might sound counterintuitive because yes, I want you to sell and I want you to hit those quotas and get that revenue coming in, but I don't want you to do it in a high pressure, sleazy tactics approach of selling. I don't want you to do that at all. When done correctly, you're going to close more business and you're going to do it faster than if you were trying to get pushy. The reason is that when you form trust and build relationships with those prospective buyers, they're going to talk to you more. They're going to answer your messages or your emails or your phone calls. They're going to give you more information because at the end of the day, they want to solve their problems. And if they trust that you can help them do that, the information will come. The sales process will progress. You still need to be an expert at certain tactics like cold calling and cold emailing to start those relationships. And you do that in a different way today than you did, say, 10 or 15 years ago. But the relationship is where you're focused. You need to know that by default, people do not trust you. There's so many studies out there and so much data that shows people do not trust salespeople. They just don't. So right out of the gate, you're not going to be trusted. You're going to have to work harder. And where sales reps are going to outperform others is when they put in the effort to build the relationship and essentially play the long game. Again, I don't want you to be scared when I say the long game because I want you to sell. And when done right, I'm going to teach you how to do that quickly. But you have to account for that whole process, right? And it varies depending on what you sell, at the price point you sell it at, and the industry that you're in. There's a lot of factors here. So in 2025 and beyond, stop trying to pitch and stop trying to push people into buying. Stop trying to convince them to buy and start focusing on relationships. If you offer value, and I mean real value to your clients, the results are going to come. If you have any questions about any of these, feel free to reach out to me, drop me an email, drop me a note, and we'll talk through how they apply to your business and your selling process. I'll talk to you next time.